I am so happy that you're able to join us for this extended interview. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get more killer resources. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us for this extended interview with Celinne, where she's going to give us a lot of incredible tips on how to create powerful storytelling. Hey Celinne!
Hello.
So the first thing is, what are your tips on the first steps someone should take to create a powerful story that will resonate with their audience?
First step is to identify your vision. This is the high level, big picture. If you want to create a brand story, whether it be for a business or for a personal brand, you can't go anywhere unless you can summarize in one sentence what your big picture is, which means, why are you here? What is your legacy? What is the point of even having a brand? When you're thinking about the first steps for really creating a powerful brand story, you want to identify with a big vision. Then from there, you create your core beliefs, which is, what are the beliefs behind that vision that I can speak to for my content, right? So for me, for example, it's my core values are human connection, because to me, I can't help people create and share stories if there isn't that element of human connection. Life design, which is this philosophy of you can design your life just as you want it. And third of all is self-discovery, which is this idea that for you to be able to create your story, you need to look inside of yourself first. So once you identify the values, then you have a content structure to speak from. So for example, when I write pieces of content on my social media, it's always about human connection, life design, or self-discovery. And then anytime you consume my content, you can feel my vision. You don't need to know what it is. You don't need me to spell it out for you, but just from the content that is being created and the story that I'm telling through my mediums, you can understand my vision. So everything needs to be coherent, and that starts from the top. It starts from you identifying what it is that you're trying to do and sticking religiously to it. Otherwise, your messaging is going to feel confused and your execution is going to be all over the place.
And can you tell us why it's important to add your own story to your brand?
Because that's what people connect with in the end. You can't, if you can have a brand that is beautifully developed from a marketing point, from a business point, it's generating you profit, but that's all it's ever going to be. It's going to be a brand. But if you're looking to take it a level further and really create something that lasts through time, and not only that, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to be able to change the products and the services and still maintain that same level of integrity, like brand integrity, you need a story that people can rally behind. Because the best brands, they don't just sell a product or service, they sell a belief system. They sell a dream, right? So, you look at brands like Apple, you look at brands like Tesla, you look at brands like Virgin, and you're thinking, what is making these brands so epic? With Virgin, it's not just an airline now, it's a sports club, it's 1,000 different things, as is Tesla, as is Apple. But they're able to even expand their portfolio.
Once we have this personal brand and personal story that is really compelling to our audience, how do we go to different brands and sell them on our own personal brand? How can we do that?
When you're the story, you attract it. You attract the people. So when I, for example, present my story to a brand that I'm looking to work with, to collaborate with, when I do, for example, my influencer work, right? When I work with brands and I pitch myself as, the storytelling consultant, there's 1,000 different people who have the same follower count than me, who have similar or higher quality pictures than me. Someone's not picking me necessarily because of the amount of followers that I have, because of the type of photography, the skill set that I have. They're picking me because something about me connects with them. When you create a story, it gives you a higher edge on your competitors, because you're a niche, you're becoming a niche, and you're very uniquely something, right? And when you pitch that story to a brand or you're trying to work with them, in the end of the day, what they're picking is not all the statistics that you're competing with numberless other people, but they're picking you because they like you, because something about you connects with them. And it's going to be because they share the same values, the same beliefs that you propagate in your story. And that's what's going to make somebody really want to work with you.
When you try to find the right brand to work with, how do you find them?
So in every location that I go to, there's different brands. And what I'm usually looking for are boutiques and family owned, because again, my brand, my story is all about helping people create and share their story. So that being said, my target audience, the brands that would best respond to this story of mine, are people who are also looking to create their own stories. So that means entrepreneurs, like small family businesses, maybe people who have unclear social media. So I'm not going to approach this huge corporate brand who has 1,000 people in their marketing team and like ask them to help me tell their story, because one, I'm not going to provide much value to them, and two, it just it doesn't make sense. It doesn't align.
Celine, you are a really incredible networker. Can you give us your best tip on networking?
Well, first and foremost, treat networking as a relationship instead of like, okay, what can I get from this person? So with me, for example, I like to plant a seed. So, I like to first say, hi, how are you? If it depends if it's like business oriented. It really depends, or if I'm just trying to make friends. But the first thing I do is just ask people about them, like ask how they are, what they're interested in, and don't ask for anything in return. And it's really about building this relationship over several interactions where you're asking them to give you a little piece of themselves and give them information. And then, only then, if you need to ask for something, make it so easy for them. Like so easy for them that all it takes is, a click for them to help you. So for example, if you want them to write you a review, or, I'm just making a testimonial, right? Just write it for them, send it to them and be like, hi, like, I was wondering if you'd be able to write me a testimonial. Here's a draft. Feel free to change it just as you want to. Here's the link. All you have to do is do this and click send. So it's really about whenever you ask somebody something, make it so easy for them that they can't say no. And my second big tip is really remember things about them. Actually care. And I know it sounds silly, but it's something that people completely overlook. If someone just had a kid, ask how the kid is doing. Write down the kid's name. How's Lila doing? A year ago, a year forward, and just continue to nurture that relationship. Even if it's one email or two emails a year, check in, remember something about them. And you'll see that whenever you need something moving forward in the future, they're going to remember that you remember them and that you weren't just reaching out to them when you wanted something. So it's really about nurturing that relationship and showing people that you care, and don't be another to-do item on their list.
Celine, how can we use storytelling to get features in huge publications that you've been able to do with yourself and with your personal brand?
Make it as easy as it can possibly be for someone to say yes. What I did is I told a story, which is, I'm a social experiment. I'm going around the world. This is what I'm going to do. I packaged it. When I pitched myself, I packaged my story into a really compelling, like, wow, look at this is what I'm doing. And then this is why it's exciting. And then, it's not enough to just package your story in a way that's really beautiful. You also have to be like, okay, the next thing that someone's going to ask is like, okay, what am I, and so what? So, if it's like, for example, if we're talking about publication specifically, if it's Forbes, it could be something like, okay, and some articles that I can write about is how I can afford to travel, how I make it work, or how I handle the logistics, But if it's something like Intrepid, okay, top 10 places that I've been to, right? Or if it's something more like thought catalog, give them some like sample headline. You really just make it easy. Like it's the same thing as networking. When you want somebody to do something for you, when you want a publication to take interest in you, you tell them what you're doing. You tell them exactly why they should be interested in what they're doing and what they're getting out of it personally, and also as a publication.
How do you use your story to build your own business?
If I told you, Debbie, like, let me help you tell your brand story, and I can help you create a really powerful story that you can use in your business, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go on my website. You're gonna go on my social media channels. You're gonna go and check me out as a person, because let me help you tell a story and pay me money, right? Obviously, you're gonna look at me and be like, who is this girl, right? And you're instantly gonna see that what I practice is what I preach is what I practice. And so my story, because I'm a storyteller by trade, I also have to be a storyteller by passion and by nature. So honestly, a lot of times I don't even have to sell myself. I have people approach me because they see the way that I've shaped a story for myself and how I have leveraged a story to design my life, design my job, and design, get all these results from it, like interviews from tons of publications. I write for tons of publications. I have a large social media following. I have my own business and my own work, and it's all because I tell stories.
These are such incredible tips, Celinne. Thank you so much for sharing them with us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining me on this extended interview. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. We can also chat some more on Facebook at The OB Live. I'll talk to you soon.